How we doing, YouTube? Steve here. It is Friday night at 11:47. Just pulled in the driveway. Got loaded over there in Dixon. Woo-wee. Now, I was early, so what I'm about ready to tell you is 75% my fault. Because I got there so early. You never know. You take a chance, you never know. Maybe they'll load you. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But this place was, I was pretty sure they weren't going to load me early, but just the way the day worked out, I was either going to have to set it somewhere because my load, I said in that other video, my South Elgin had to be there in the morning, and this load didn't load till later in the afternoon, and yeah, so I got there at 12, a little after 12, and I left there at about 8. So about 8 hours I sat there. Oh, but like I said, from 5, my appointment really wasn't until 5. So you can't really be upset about that. And they got me in the door. One of the messages on the JB Hunt app, or not messages, on the comments, had said that they load you pretty fast once they get you in the door. And that was what my experience was. They did load me pretty fast once I was in the door. But there was one guy that was sitting there. He'd been there all day. Whatever product he was getting, his whole trailer was loaded all but one skid. He said he'd been there all day, like in the door for 8 hours. Oh my gosh. But we got that load, so that's good. I did stop at the Love's and get me a Coke on the way home. I messed up. I didn't really mess up. Yeah, I did mess up. I didn't bring my cooler with me today. Because it's just going to be a little shorty. I knew it was going to be a long day, but I knew it wasn't going to be in the truck all night. So I didn't really want to go buy a bag of ice to keep my cooler cold, So I thought I can get by for today. I'll just grab me a soda or a glass of ice and I'll get through the day all right. Well, it was pretty warm out today. And that soda melted right off the bat this morning, that ice did. I didn't bring my Yeti cup any either. That didn't help anything. That would have held the ice better, but so it's kind of hot, and I should have left and went and got something while I was over there, but I didn't. What can you do? 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But we got home. It was a long day, but we got home, and the important thing is we're preloaded for Monday, and that will make all the difference in the world in terms of how our revenue shakes out next week. Because I will be honest and tell you this, that, the first week, I'm not going to, the first week is what it was. You kind of learning curve how to do everything on the tablet and everything. Everything takes a little bit longer. Or on their app. My new tablet, but on their app. And then not being booked ahead, it was not so good. Then he wanted to send me to someplace I didn't want to go, and for the rate, not only was the rate not very good going, it was going to take it was just bad. So the first week I knew that was going to be bad. And then the second week, what happened the second week? The second week I was booking on my own. I booked on my own for what little I did the first week. The second week was when I realized I was kind of gun shy. I didn't want to book too far ahead. Well, I didn't realize that's exactly how you have to do it on this board. Book way ahead. So the second week wasn't very good. Couple thousand. I made a couple thousand. The first week I didn't make that much. And then this week really wasn't any better than the second week because me being late on Tuesday, I didn't load. Well, there's two things. I didn't load until Monday. And then being a little bit late on Tuesday, that messed up that Wednesday, that everything I'd set up. And so, I mean, it ruined the whole week. That Tuesday morning ruined the whole entire week. Well, actually, it was Monday afternoon. And now I know why it was so bad of traffic going over there to get that trailer on 80. Just past Morris, they got a lot of construction going on. So part of the traffic I was backed up in was in some construction that I never actually got to. That's because I'd been to Morris like last week, or 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't that bad. But I had come out of Morris and was going back the other way, so I didn't catch it. This time I was going to Morris, and it was bad, and that's why. Anyway, long story long, it messed up the whole week. Anyway, well, now we're preloaded for Monday, and we got the first 3 loads all lined up, and I'll watch over the weekend and try to get that next Ohio load booked out of there for Wednesday. And good, we're looking good so far anyway, because we got to have a couple good weeks in here. We've had no good weeks since I left ARCA. I mean, paid the bills, but I ain't made no money on top of that, and that ain't enough. When I say pay the bills, let me rephrase that. Paid the trucking bills. I didn't pay no house bills. Not at $2,000 a week. It takes, I should do a video about this. Maybe I'll do a video about this later in the week, next week or something. But it takes, with this Lone Mountain truck and my own authority and the odds and end little stuff, like my dog's barking. She wants to know why we're not going home. Well, actually, I am home, but I parked my truck when I got a trailer in a little different spot. Anyway, long story, I'm not going to get into that right now. But about this truck, this Lone Mountain truck, it takes me $1,000 a week for this truck, whether I turn a wheel or not. Between the truck payment and the authority insurance, all the insurances, and everything else, it's $1,000 a week before I turn a wheel, is what this truck costs. That's before you put any fuel in it. So, if you make enough money to pay your first expense, you actually almost 3/4 it again, because you got to put a load of fuel on this thing, and that's $700, give or take a smidge. And so you got to get right after it. And not, like I said, not being loaded on Monday morning is a critical flaw to the operation so far. The first 2 weeks couldn't be helped. I don't know why it wasn't preloaded the week before. I'm not sure. But anyway, so that's how the week was this week, I guess. I said it's about a little over 2,000. But, I mean, I could have padded that a little bit and hauled one that made money today, a bigger one for today. But it would have just been cannibalizing next week for this week. So I want to get back on the right schedule where I'm preloaded for a Monday delivery. And then, and have one with this board, and have one coming back scheduled, that next one already. So, all right, everybody, God bless, and we will talk again soon. If I don't talk to you over the weekend, I'll try to do a couple more over the weekend if something interesting happens. I got to do a little work on the truck. Nothing major, mostly just odds and ends, little things you got to keep after. And I will keep you updated on all the happenings. So, God bless everybody. We'll talk again soon.